and welcome to Britt-Arnhild's World here on YouTube. This is the 10th episode in 2022, and finally I'm back to doing an episode in English. I'm very sorry I have been English absent for some weeks now, but here I am. This one is in English. I am in a kind of thinking mood about my YouTube channel because arthritis, problems with my fingers, means that I'm knitting a lot less than I used to knit. And since this has kind of been a knitting podcast with a lot of other stuff as well, I have to rethink what do I want with this channel. I still want to have it up and running, but I have to do some thinking. But today I will talk to you about this period we are into in the Christian year, the period of Lent, which is the 7 weeks before Easter, 7 weeks of Lent from Ash Wednesday till Easter Day. A very important period for the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic, I'm a Lutheran, but we also have this period of Lent, though it's not very common to say no, to stop eating or say no to meat and so on. We try to live through the period with another focus. Many years ago, back in 2007, I wrote a book in Norwegian about Lent. It's called 40 Days from Carnival to the Risen. And it's about old and new traditions, and well, there are not a lot of themes in the book. One other thing I kind of invented, inspired by a very good friend of mine. It was a rainbow calendar. I have a couple of chapters of that in the book. The rainbow has 7 colors, and as I said, the Lent has 7 weeks. So I gave every week one color, starting with red and going all the way through the rainbow. In the book, I talk about trying to painting the weeks in the different colors. 7 candles in the rainbow colors, 1 red, 1 orange, and so on. I lit the red candle the first week, and then I lit red and orange the second week, red, orange, yellow the third week, and so on. And also trying to focus on food, using these special colors. Well, there are more ideas in here. And a few years after the book came out, there was a Norwegian organization, Norwegian Church Aid, nca.no. You can find it on internet, nca.no. They supported the publishing of this book, and they gave it to a lot of their members, volunteers. And there was one person who kind of developed this idea with the rainbow colors, lighting them in the church every Sunday, the 7 Sundays leading up to Easter Day. And Norwegian Church Aid continued to develop it, making prayers and so on. So now the rainbow candles are used in very many Lutheran churches here in Norway. I think it was 3 years ago. This is the 4th year. So 3 years ago, I also developed the rainbow calendar further. I started to knit in the rainbow colors. The first year, I knitted this shawl back here, but during the Lentil period, I knitted this shawl. I found leftover yarn in my collection, using only leftover yarn. That was a very important purpose for me, because I want Lent to be a period where we focus on giving more than using money and time on ourselves. So not buying yarn, but using leftover yarn has been important for this rainbow knitting. So I made this shawl. Over the years I have made several, given some of them away. And I also, maybe that was the next year, no, it was the first year, I made these socks, starting with red, continuing with orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. My rainbow socks. Then 2 years ago I made these balls. I call them praying balls. One every week, starting with, obviously, with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, the dark blue, and purple. Now I hang these in some branches I have indoors. I hang the red one the first week, then added the orange one the second week, and I have added the yellow one this week, and I will continue until Easter. And for me it's important that they are praying balls or praying beads or whatever you call them, because Lent is also for me an important period of prayers. And obviously this year prayers are more important than ever with the war in Ukraine. So I pray for the Russian people. I pray for the leaders in Russia, that God may do something with their brains, make them stop the war and think differently. So far it hasn't helped, but also evil is in the world. It's not only God's love, we also have evil here. So they are my praying balls. Then last year I used, I got inspired by a Swedish-Austrian artist, Joseph Frank. I used watercolors by him as inspiration to knit wrist warmers. 7 pairs. The first week I found a watercolor with a lot of red in it, and obviously continued to going through the whole rainbow. There will be a film in the end of this episode with some footage of these wrist warmers. I had so many plans for this year, but then they kind of came to, well, I will not say that they came to nothing, because I have done something, but for several reasons, this year is so different. My pains in the fingers, the war, my father who became ill over Christmas and has now had to be moved into what do you call it? A nursing home for elderly people, and a lot of other things going on in life. But I started, I had a plan to, I found some leftover cotton yarn, and I had a plan to crochet. It's hard to show it, but I have crocheted a kind of ball or a basket, or I'm not quite sure how to call it. Red for the first week, orange for the second week, and then I came to a stop. I will not do one for the yellow week, but instead I decorated this orange basket with lemons and lemon leaves. I was sitting out in my greenhouse the other day, finishing this orange basket and crocheting and sewing on these lemons and the leaves. What I will do for green week, I don't know. But also I was in a very good mood to do something in the start. So as I have been talking about in a Norwegian episode, I found this painting which I bought on Haiti back in 1989. I was there on a special tour together with Norwegian Church Aid to focus on the help the Norwegian Church Aid could give to the people of Haiti. They are still working there. And it was, I went there in the autumn, but the purpose was to gather stories and tales to tell the churches of Norway during the Lentil period, because Norwegian Church Aid, the last week before Easter, they always have a very special Lentil campaign to visit every house in Norway to ask for money for their work. So I bought one. Well, we visited a lot of projects. I'm not going to talk more about that now. I have done some of it in a Norwegian episode, but I bought this painting, and I was looking at it one day, and I thought, oh, this painting can be an inspiration for me during this Lentil period this year, and also by thinking of the people of Haiti. It helps me to broaden my mind, not only to think of the Ukrainian people, because I will not forget them. I will continue to pray for them, do what I can, giving money and so on. But there are also other areas in our world which needs our help. So I found this painting, and I decided to use the colors of the clothing here, starting with this yellow and pink dress, and I knitted a pair of wrist warmers for myself. Here they are. So my plan was to continue with an orange pair of wrist warmers, then yellow and so on, but I stopped after this red one due to problems partly, but also due to other things I wanted to knit. Because I found the most amazing pattern on, well, I saw it on Instagram and bought it on Ravelry. Outfoxed Mittens, it's called. And it's a new pattern. It came in February, and it's the designer. You can see the tail of the fox is continuing all the way over to the inside of the hand. The pattern is designed by Erika Hauser. I'm not quite sure how you say it. I will put a link down here because she sells her pattern on Ravelry. She has so many great patterns. I have knitted several of her designs previously, but I really love this outfoxed mitts. And then there was no time to continue with orange striped wrist warmers. And also there was another pattern I started to knit. My plan was to have it finished by today. I will tell you why. It's a pair of mittens. Pray for Ukraine. I have finished the first mitten, but not sewn in the ends. Pray for Ukraine. And I have started on the second one. Knitted Ukraine. And here it is to say knit for Ukraine. The pattern is free on Ravelry, and it's by a Swedish designer. Her name is Lotta Lundin. On Instagram she is Knitting Lotta. Here's the pattern. Pray for Ukraine is the name of the pattern, and you find it for free on Ravelry. I know, Dagmar, in Austria, that you are knitting the pair. I'm curious to know how far you have gone. And since she gives the pattern out for free, she asks us to give money to an organization which works in Ukraine or for the Ukrainian people. For me, that was simple. I could give money to Norwegian Church Aid. I know they work in Ukraine, and also with refugees. Save the Children, Red Cross. Well, there are a lot of different organizations, luckily, working for the Ukrainian people. So I think that's about what I have been working on, knitting and crocheting wise, since the last. Well, I have a few other projects, but I work on them very, very slowly. So I'm not sure what to say more in this episode. I do hope to continue with both Norwegian and English episodes. I plan to make a Norwegian one later today. But I have to think more about how to fill my episodes, because there will be less knitting now with my pains, quite bad pains in my hands and fingers. But still, it's good for the fingers to knit, because it helps them not to be too stiff. So I will continue to knit, but I'm not sure what the future will bring. But I do believe and hope that the future will bring more videos here in the channel. I would also love to hear from you what you like about my videos, what you would like to see more of, to hear more of. What I do plan to do is when we travel, we have not planned any travels abroad this year. Maybe we will probably go to Stockholm because we have our son there. But we will do many short travels in Norway. And I do plan to film and to share some of the travel tales with you along the way. So that's one goal I have. I also hope to show you my garden, but still it's completely filled with snow. So it's very little to show. I do have a garden blog, but it's in Norwegian. It's called the Columbine Garden, Akeleiehagen. But the link is very long because it's connected to my main blog, which is in English, Britt-Arnhild's House in the Woods. Maybe I will put a link both to Britt-Arnhild's House in the Woods and the garden blog down below here, if I remember. But I love to hear from you, and I always write back on the comments I get, so we can do a kind of conversation through the comments. It would also be very fun if we could read, or if you could read other people's comment, and maybe we will have a kind of conversation through that. But please tell me, what do you like about this podcast, this channel? What do you want to have more of? And we will see what happens. Enjoy the filming in the end, and the music today is, as always, my mother, 92 years old mother, playing. Both these pieces are about a special blue anemone, forest, growing in the forest. I don't know if you call it a blue anemone in English. I should have found out. But the first piece is an old, well-known Norwegian piece about a girl walking in the forest picking blue anemones. And the second piece, which you will hear now, which is coming up, is a Swedish song about the blue anemone, which some of my viewers gave me last year when I talked about the blue anemone. So both of the pieces my mother played last year, I recorded them. So she was 91 when she played them. Okay, I hope you like this episode. Please press the like button, subscribe, and do a comment. It all helps quite a lot actually to make the video channel more viewable, more to be seen on YouTube. YouTube works like that. When you get likes, when people see your stuff, they will show it to more people. So please do that. It will help me a lot. Okay, bye for now. See you later.